Welcome to the debate. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating strategic question within the rapidly evolving landscape of the electric vehicle market. Our focus is Cewmlator, a prominent manufacturer that has made an exclusive commitment to battery electric vehicles, or BEVs. The central question we're grappling with is this: is Cewmlator's steadfast BEV-only approach the most strategically sound path for long-term success in the dynamic electric car market? Or does it perhaps leave the company unnecessarily vulnerable to market challenges that other types of electric vehicles might be better equipped to handle? My perspective is that Cewmlator's BEV-only strategy is visionary. It's a bold move, yeah? But one that aligns perfectly with the ultimate future of automotive transport, positioning them as undeniable leaders in genuine sustainability.
And I come at it from a different way. While Cewmlator's ambition is certainly commendable, I believe their exclusive focus on BEVs is premature. It overlooks critical current market realities and, frankly, significant consumer concerns, creating substantial risks that a more diversified approach would likely mitigate much more effectively.
Cewmlator's decision to focus solely on BEVs isn't just bold. I would argue it's a strategically necessary move that firmly positions the company for future dominance. This approach aligns directly with the undeniable global shift away from internal combustion engines. I mean, we're seeing governments worldwide, like in Duxland, committing to aggressive emissions reductions and even projecting outright bans on new ICE car sales after 2030. Cewmlator's mission statement explicitly targets desirable and sustainable motor vehicles, and BEVs, well, by definition, they produce zero emissions during operation. This makes them the purest embodiment of that sustainability vision. And consider the market itself. It's exploding. We saw 17 million EV units sold globally just in 2024, representing a quarter of all new car sales worldwide, and a market valued at a staggering $250 billion, consistently delivering models that are best in class for range, performance, and value for money within their segments. And looking ahead, advancements in battery chemistry promise even greater range and lower costs, playing directly into Cewmlator's core strengths. Now, some express concern about range anxiety, but let's look at the data for Duxland. The average car journey is a mere 15 kilometers, with only 1% exceeding 150 kilometers. Cewmlator Tynie, with its 143-kilometer range, is perfectly suited for the vast majority of daily commutes. Furthermore, the convenience and lower cost of home charging benefit 80% of BEV owners. This isn't just a comprehensive strategy. It's a clear roadmap that marries governmental mandates with technological advantage and evolving consumer behavior, painting a picture of undeniable long-term success for Cewmlator's focused approach.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that it's quite so clear-cut. While Cewmlator's vision is indeed commendable, their exclusive BEV focus feels profoundly premature, and frankly, carries substantial risks in the current market. The material points to something critical. Demand for traditional ICE cars remains stubbornly high, with insufficient demand for EVs to bring about a more rapid switch, even with a looming 2030 ban. This isn't just a minor hurdle. It suggests a significant portion of the market is simply not ready to make an exclusive BEV commitment right now. A primary concern, which continues to limit market accessibility for many, is the persistently higher purchase price of EVs compared to ICE cars. It's a significant barrier. Then there's the range issue. Despite statistics on average journey lengths, the reality is that many motorists are nervous about switching to BEV cars because of concerns about range.
Cewmlator's Tynie, at 143 kilometers, simply won't fully alleviate that deep-seated anxiety, not for those 1% of longer journeys, and certainly not for the general psychological comfort of knowing you have ample range. It's about flexibility and peace of mind, not just the daily commute. And let's not overlook the charging infrastructure. It's a major hurdle. Charging arrangements are frequently described as complicated. Public charging is not only more expensive than recharging at home, but can actually cost more than petrol or diesel for a comparable ICE. The availability of public charging points remains a concern, particularly in areas where providers don't foresee sufficient revenue. Crucially, a full 20% of BEV owners must rely entirely on public charging, and what do they face? A fragmented network of 12 different companies, each demanding its own app, its own account, and its own pricing structure. This isn't just inconvenient, it's a genuine deterrent. The staggering $60,000 cost to install a single rapid public charger perfectly illustrates the massive investment required to truly address this widespread issue. Finally, battery degradation is a particular concern. It leads directly to decreased range and potentially incredibly costly replacements. We're talking $60,000 or more. While Cewmlator offers an 8-year or 160,000-kilometer warranty covering a 20% range decrease, that still means a car could lose a fifth of its original range and not qualify for a replacement, leaving owners with a significantly diminished asset. And adding insult to injury, BEVs are difficult to recover if they run out of charge, requiring a specialist low loader rather than simple towing. These aren't minor operational glitches. These are fundamental barriers to widespread BEV adoption that Cewmlator's exclusive strategy currently leaves unaddressed, putting them at a distinct disadvantage with a large segment of the market.
I understand the skepticism, and I see why those current market realities give you pause. But let me offer a different perspective on these market readiness and consumer barriers. While we certainly acknowledge that current challenges exist, Cewmlator's strategy isn't just about today. It's fundamentally about future-proofing the company. Governments aren't just suggesting, they are unequivocally pushing for this transition. Those 2030 ban targets aren't going anywhere. Cewmlator's strength lies in its relentless innovation and product development, which ensures their BEVs remain attractive and continuously improve. They're not static. Think about the increasing range of their models, from the Tynie's 143 kilometers, which, as I said, is ample for most daily needs, up to the Skkorch's 400 kilometers. This range expansion directly addresses those deeper range anxieties for a wider variety of journeys.
The idea that BEVs are impractical for longer trips is rapidly becoming outdated. And it's vital to remember that the vast majority of owners, 80% to be exact, have the convenience and cost-effectiveness of home charging. This makes their daily running costs significantly lower than fossil fuels. These are not insurmountable obstacles. They are evolving challenges that Cewmlator, as a dedicated BEV innovator, is at the forefront of solving. They are building the future, not just reacting to the present.
The nervousness about range isn't solely about the mathematical average of daily commutes. It's about the psychological comfort, the perception of freedom, and the practical flexibility for those occasional longer journeys, or simply not wanting the nagging worry of being stranded. You mentioned the 80% with home charging, which is great for them. But what about the significant 20% of owners who must rely on public charging? For them, that fragmented infrastructure of 12 different companies, each demanding separate apps and offering varying prices, is not a minor inconvenience. It creates a significant and, frankly, unacceptable level of logistical hassle for a premium product. This isn't a problem that's simply evolving away quickly enough. The $60,000 price tag for a single rapid public charger isn't just a number. It fundamentally underscores the massive capital expenditure and the sheer scale of the challenge required to build out a truly ubiquitous, convenient public charging network. This isn't just about Cewmlator, it's a systemic challenge for the entire BEV ecosystem in Duxland, and it forces many potential customers to delay switching or seriously consider alternatives that don't present these daily logistical hurdles. And this leads directly to my second major point. Cewmlator's exclusive focus on BEVs inherently limits its addressable market. By going all in on pure electric, they are effectively excluding a large segment of consumers who, due to these very issues we've been discussing, range anxiety, charging complications, higher upfront costs, are simply not yet prepared for a full electric commitment. Consider their competitors. Duxland, for example, produces both BEV and PHEV cars.
This isn't just about offering more choice, it's about providing a bridging technology. A PHEV alleviates range anxiety and charging issues by giving you the flexibility of a petrol or diesel engine when the battery runs low. It's a safety net, a transitional solution that meets customers where they are right now. This diversification allows companies like Duxland to capture a significantly wider customer base, including those hesitant about pure BEVs, without abandoning the move towards electrification.
I'm not convinced by that line of reasoning because I believe a diversified approach can often dilute a company's focus and fragment its precious resources, potentially hindering deep specialization and genuine leadership. Cewmlator has deliberately chosen to specialize, and that focus has allowed them to build a formidable reputation for sound build quality and innovation, specifically in pure BEVs. Their significant market share of 15.4% globally indicates that this focus strategy is already proving immensely successful without needing to compromise with hybrid technologies. It's noteworthy that Duxland's market share of 15.9% is only marginally higher than Cewmlator's. This suggests that a diversified portfolio, while seemingly offering broader appeal, doesn't necessarily grant a decisive competitive edge in terms of market capture, especially when that diversification involves a technology that some might see as a temporary stepping stone. A strong, singular vision for the true future of automotive transport, coupled with unparalleled expertise, can often yield greater, more impactful returns in the long run. By not diluting their efforts, Cewmlator can pour all its innovation into advancing pure BEV technology faster and more effectively than anyone else.
That's a compelling argument for focus, but let's be pragmatic. You talk about the weight penalty associated with PHEVs, which is, well, a minor practical inconvenience at best. Compare that to the fundamental, absolute inability of a BEV to simply refill and continue a journey when out of charge. That's not a minor inconvenience. That's a showstopper for some people. The fact that BEVs cannot be towed and must be lifted onto a low loader if they run out of power represents a significant practical disadvantage that PHEVs and even simpler hybrid electric vehicles inherently overcome. This isn't merely about market share or stepping stone technology. It's about practical usability and eliminating a major source of driver stress and logistical nightmares. A customer facing a dead battery in a BEV, waiting for a specialist low loader, is experiencing a fundamental flaw in the pure-play model that a hybrid driver simply doesn't. Cewmlator's singular focus might achieve a certain kind of purity, but it comes at the cost of practical, everyday flexibility that many consumers still demand.
Okay, I hear your point on the practicalities, but Cewmlator is actively mitigating those concerns. Let's talk about battery degradation, which you raised earlier as a major concern regarding costly replacements. Cewmlator addresses this directly through its robust warranty. They explicitly commit to replacing batteries if a car's range decreases by 20% or more within 8 years or 160,000 kilometers. This isn't a small detail. It offers considerable reassurance to owners, making their BEVs a secure long-term investment in sustainable transport, and directly addressing a significant consumer concern without needing to dilute their mission or divert resources into less environmentally pure options. They are taking direct responsibility for the longevity of their core technology. Let's shift our focus to the long term, because this is where Cewmlator's dedicated BEV strategy truly shines. It positions them as clear leaders in achieving the ultimate goal of zero tailpipe emissions, which is absolutely central to their mission of providing sustainable motor vehicles and aligns perfectly with governmental environmental targets. This isn't just about today's tailpipes, it's about the future of a planet. And crucially, Cewmlator is not ignoring the manufacturing side of the equation. They are actively working on mitigating concerns regarding the production process by designing more sustainable batteries that have longer lives and that consume fewer scarce resources. This demonstrates a truly forward-looking commitment to total lifecycle sustainability, not just operational emissions. They are addressing the very core of what makes EVs sustainable in the truest sense, ensuring their leadership isn't just in driving, but in the entire ecosystem of their vehicles.
I grant you, but I think it overlooks a significant, uncomfortable truth about the current state of EV production. You're highlighting their future commitments, but let's consider the explicit statement that the manufacture of an EV causes greater emissions than the manufacture of an equivalent ICE. This isn't a small difference. It's mainly due to the batteries. The battery alone is responsible for a staggering 45% of an EV's manufacturing emissions. Furthermore, the life cycle doesn't end there. Recycling EV batteries is notoriously difficult and energy-intensive. It often destroys valuable lithium or requires toxic solvents, raising serious questions about the sustainability of the entire process from cradle to grave. As Cewmlator focuses exclusively on large BEV batteries, they are by definition a major user of lithium and the other metals that are central to these environmental challenges. This full life cycle impact
from resource extraction to manufacturing emissions to difficult recycling, directly contradicts their sustainable mission, especially in the short to medium term. A BEV-only approach, while aspirational for tailpipe emissions, is potentially less environmentally sound when you consider the complete picture, not just what comes out of the exhaust pipe. This isn't a future problem, it's a current reality that complicates their claim to pure sustainability.
I appreciate the nuance you're introducing regarding life cycle emissions. It's an important consideration. However, Cewmlator's BEV-only strategy represents a clear, confident step into the future of automotive transport. It leverages their strengths in innovation and established market leadership, aligning with an inevitable global shift towards truly zero-emission vehicles. While challenges exist, and you've rightly pointed out some significant ones, Cewmlator is actively addressing them through continuous product development, expanding range, and a dedicated focus on increasingly sustainable battery technology. This positions the company for long-term dominance as the technology advances and, crucially, as the supporting infrastructure inevitably develops to meet the demand. Their commitment isn't just about selling cars, it's about shaping the entire future of mobility.
However, I maintain that Cewmlator's exclusive focus on BEVs may indeed be a strategic gamble that exposes them to significant current market vulnerabilities. Consumer anxieties about range, the fragmented and costly public charging infrastructure that still plagues many regions, the persistently higher purchase price of their vehicles, and the significant life cycle environmental impact of battery production and recycling all suggest that a more diversified product offering could better navigate the complexities of the present market. Such an approach might offer greater overall sustainability by mitigating these immediate challenges, and crucially, achieve broader market penetration by meeting customers where they are today, rather than solely banking on where we hope they will be tomorrow. The future is uncertain, and being too rigid in strategy can be a risk.
This discussion really highlights the profound complexities of strategic decision-making in a rapidly evolving industry like electric vehicles. Cewmlator's choice represents a firm commitment to a specific path, driven by a powerful vision of future sustainability and technological leadership.
Right. But the material clearly illustrates that the market continues to grapple with balancing those technological ideals with very real practical consumer needs and infrastructure realities that a pure BEV approach might currently overlook or struggle to address quickly enough.
Indeed. The true long-term implications of this approach, both for Cewmlator and the broader EV market, will undoubtedly continue to offer us much more to explore within the material as this story unfolds.